franchise in our nation's capital has a new placeholder name.
The Washington football team.
We are going to collaborate, we're going to talk, we're going to work together. We're going to come to decisions that we believe are best for the organization.
Success of everything comes with everybody participating.
It's not about you, it's bigger than the individual, it's about the team.
What does it mean for you to be part of this new era in Washington?
For me, first of all, it's personal.
What we're actually doing is much more than a new name. A new way of engaging with the world. It's going to inform the way we embed in the community, the way we engage with fans.
It should have a sense of familiarity, and it should be strong. Just because coming with the rebrand, it's got to be like a strong, passionate, they can get behind it real quick.
A sense of pride that I took every time I put on that burgundy and gold. It meant something to me because of the guys that I was representing every time I put on that uniform.
To the 5, diving for the end zone. Touchdown! Oh. Touchdown, Washington!
Hello and welcome into day 2 of Draft Week Live 21 presented by Bud Light. Julie Donaldson here, aka for the weekend, and Julia Corningstone, Donaldstone. I don't even remember my entire name. This is Fred Smoot, but you'd rather know him today as Bill Piper Jr. And of course, joining us is Ron Burgundy and Gold, otherwise known as Bram Weinstein. Look, folks, we are throwing it back retro style throughout this entire draft process. I mean, why would you not want every night a Bram like that? This is Draft Week Live presented by Bud Light. We might need to crack open a Bud Light as we go through this show. We are kicking it back 80s style. What is this you got rolling on here?
Well, really, it's LL today. I'm going 80s, 90s right now. I'm going LL, a little Run DMC in there, R.N. Jefferson, I'm in a zone right now. And today in the second and third round, we need love. All right, because guess what? For the last 6 to 7 years, the third round has been the round that gives us all the love.
So coming up, we do have 3 picks on day 2 as we go through rounds 2 and 3. 1 in the second round, 2 on the third round. We'll be coming back with a live stream as soon as we do make our final pick as well. So we'll bring our analysis once the day and the night is entirely over. But let's look back to what we think of last night. Bram, Ron Burgundy and Gold. What do you think now that you've had time to kind of sit back and look? I just can't. I just can't. That is so awesome. You are owning this right now, sir.
Reno 911.
Jamin Davis, what is your take?
You're arrested, Jamin Davis. This is, by the way, Chips, if you haven't figured it out. I will say, though, I've spared you. This is from a Reno 911 costume I wore a couple of years ago. And, Julie, I did not bring the short shorts. So I'm going to just stick with this
part.
I'm
so disappointed.
Yes. Jamin Davis, perfect pick. Need, fit, this is one of those moments where sometimes best player on the board actually fits an exact need of what they wanted. I think they were sitting pretty at 19. All this talk about them potentially moving up for another position. I think they knew what they were doing here. It would have been out of character anyway for Ron Rivera, Marty Herney, Martin Mayhew. Their past had not shown that they would do something like that. And here comes this tremendous athlete that comes in to fill a need. And so, and the interesting part about this is, I think even off of this, because we all know they still need a tackle. I think they're looking at safety, wide receiver, potentially quarterback at some point, maybe even running back. I don't know that they're even out of the linebacker business here today in round 2 and 3. I think it's possible they may add another linebacker to the core today.
What we do know is they are very clear on their draft board on how they want it to fall should the players be there. Look, it took no time at all for them to know that Davis was their guy. And even, well, as head coach Ron Rivera said, look, he was their highest rated defender at this position. So it was real simple. That's why once they were on the clock, the pick was in just like that. Now, we want to get your reaction throughout this entire process through the night. So tweet us at WAS NFL Draft 21. We'll be showing your tweets throughout the show as well, so let us know what you make of the pick and also what you want to see Washington do tonight, which position groups and potential names you'd like to see them target. If we're going to still talk a little bit about Davis, Fred, before we kind of move on to the expectations that you want for tonight. Look, he's fast.
Oh, yes, he is.
He has the speed, and we were chatting with him. He has an unofficial 4.3. He said, look, he thought about offense, could probably maybe be a tight end, a really big tight end, but he liked hitting people. He liked contact. But how does that speed really translate and kind of help the defense?
Well, first of all, you got to look at who do you trust. And in this building, in run, I trust. The one thing about it is Coach is an ex-linebacker. You look at his track record of drafting linebackers. You look at our defensive coordinator, ex-linebacker. So if one position I trust him in, it's linebacker. And with this guy, he does everything. They're right. At the end of the day, he can play Sam, Will, middle linebacker. And this could be 3 consecutive downs where he played 3 different positions. He's skilled in every way. He's the best coverage guy when it comes to linebacker in this draft. If you don't believe me, watch him and Kyle Pitts. And you know how I love that Marsh and Kyle Pitts. Watch him and Kyle Pitts go head to head. It'll make everybody in the Washington fan base feel a lot better about this pick. I know he's not the most popular, but I promise you in 2 to 3 years, he will be a perennial Pro Bowler.
You know, Bram, I actually asked him about covering Kyle Pitts because at Kentucky, he went up, of course, against my Florida Gators. And he said, look, he goes, I wish I had more of an opportunity to be one-on-one with him. He goes, I felt like the game would have been different had he had that chance to be there against him. But you look at what he will bring to this linebacking room. And you also look at the evaluations of linebackers, right to Fred's point, Bram. Marty Herney and Ron Rivera, they drafted Shaq Thompson, Luke Kuechly, John Beeson, Thomas Davis Sr. Does he fit right in with those list of names, you think?
Right. That's what we've decided here. We've given them the track record of being right. Listen, like this team, you know, over the last 5 years, and I know it's different staffs and different people making decisions here. Chase Young, Deron Payne, Montez Sweat, John Allen, and now hopefully Jamin Davis. I mean, they've been right a lot. And I know we talked about this a little bit last night, but not unlike Chase Young a year ago, he is walking into a very good situation here. He gets to play with that line in front of him. It should give him a tremendous amount of flexibility. And I'm with Fred here. I think he's probably just looking at the outlook of the core right now. He should be a starter very early, but in what role they use him, having him and getting some flexibility of how to utilize Landon Collins down the road, this is a big pickup for this defense as they try to add to it and head into the season.
Where exactly he fits in that linebacking room, we shall see, but this is the thing, is he's got the versatility. We know how much this coaching staff loves that, and he says wherever I can be plugged in and played in, that's exactly what he wants to do. But what about that first phone call from head coach Ron Rivera? How did that go down?
Phone.
Here it is.
Hello?
Is this Jamin Davis?
Yes, sir, it is.
This Coach Rivera calling. How you doing?
I'm good, Coach. How you doing?
You're going to be a linebacker for the Washington football team, all right?
Yes, sir.
Hey, I'm fired up for you, young man. I really am.
Yes, sir, Coach. Let's work.
Hey, we had a hell of a conversation. You're going to fit exactly where we need you to be, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right, you tell your parents? I want to hear your parents yell and scream now. Tell them. Come on.
We're going to Washington.
Hey, man. That's awesome, isn't it?
Yes, sir. It was great.
Hey, congratulations. We'll be talking to you in a little bit. We're going to let you get back to watching your name get called, and that'll be awesome, all righty?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right.
If we're going to be talking about the linebacker and the latest, Jamin Davis to be joining the Washington football team, who better to go to than Thomas Davis Sr.? TD, thank you for joining us. Real quickly, before we get into the pick, how is retirement treating you?
So far, so good. You know, I'm enjoying every day, just getting acclimated to this new phase of my life.
Hey, you're already at work doing draft work for Carolina. Of course, the team that drafted you with Marty Herney and Ron Rivera was there as well. So you have an idea of what they want at the linebacking position. You said that when we were coming up on the clock, you knew right where they were going. Why is that?
You know, I just look at the kid and I evaluated his talent and his skill set, and I knew that he was the perfect fit for this defense. I knew, you know, with the guys that they already have in place, you know, one of the missing pieces was a really, really good dynamic linebacker, and that's what Jamin Davis is.
You know, he's fast too. How much do you think that will factor into what he's able to do in pass coverage and helping us out?
Man, it's going to be huge. You know, having the ability to run, having, you know, with him being as tall as he is, he's going to have the ability to use his hand well. Not that he's going to have to do a whole lot of that with the guys that he have up front, but his ability to coverage guys in the NFC East is going to go a long way for this football team.
He said it was already asked of and expected of him that he'll fit into Ron Rivera's culture. But he couldn't quite describe what that was, or he probably wouldn't to me as well. But what is that? What is it that coach is looking for outside of those tangibles that are on the field?
I think coach definitely looking for guys that are going to buy in and totally believe in what he's coaching and what he's teaching. And when you get guys like that, man, that guys that are selfless, that are going to go out and give everything that they have to the betterment of the football team, those are the kind of guys that Coach Rivera is looking for. Tough, hard-nosed football players that just love to play the game.
How do you see him fitting into this linebacking room?
Man, he's going to fit in great, with Coach Russ and, getting in there with Cole and some of the other guys that are in that room. He's going to fit right in. I had the honor of speaking with him in the pre-draft process. I was talking to a bunch of the draft guys, and he had an opportunity to ask some questions. And, ironically enough, we found out that my uncle is actually his cousin. So you'd be surprised some of the things that you can find out just by having conversations with people.
Wait, so you're related? There's some good genetics going on there?
We definitely might be related. I don't know if we missed each other a little bit, but there's definitely a connection, a family member connection.
Some experts have actually said that he reminds them of a young Thomas Davis Sr. What does that mean?
I think that's a huge honor for me as a 38-year-old retired guy now, hearing that a guy that's in the first round reminds anybody of me, I think is definitely an honor. But I know from going back and watching myself, what this guy is capable of, his ability to intercept the ball in pass coverage, his ability to stop the run. I think that really speaks to, how well they view this kid, because I think me personally, I feel like I had a pretty decent career, and, hopefully he's going to come in and just be everything that everybody is expecting him to be.
He came onto the scene a little bit late to get the attention of all the head scouts to be able to be taken in the first round as just a 3-star recruit. There's going to be an adjustment as he goes to the NFL. Where do you think he can best grow in his game?
I think just his ability to read and react to the run game is going to be some of the things that they're going to be looking for him to get better at, because I think he's more of a polished defender from a standpoint of playing the pass. So once he really gets acclimated to playing the NFL game and stopping the run, I mean, the sky's the limit for this kid.
And he comes from an SEC school. You okay to give props for that? I mean, what, Kentucky, Georgia? Of course, I'm a Gator.
I'm paying tuition at Kentucky. My daughter is actually a sophomore there, so I don't have no beef with Kentucky. We usually take care of business just like we do with Florida.
All right. Well, we appreciate you joining in and giving us some insight on Jalen. So wishing you the best as you continue on in your career down in Carolina. Where do you think Washington should go as the draft continues to play out?
It's interesting. You look at this draft, and a guy that I feel personally that if he's on the board that Washington should definitely select is Elijah Moore out of Ole Miss. I think he'll be a guy that comes in and add a dynamic aspect to the receiving core. So if he's there, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
All right, Thomas Davis Sr., thank you for taking time to chat with us. Good luck on your broadcast with the Carolina Panthers.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So there's the analysis on Davis joining the linebacking room. That is the day 1 pick at 19 overall, but day 2 is here. 3 picks today between round 2 and round 3. What players do you want to see this Washington team target? Well, we are going to get Fred and Bram telling us who could be on the lookout and joining the Burgundy and Gold. Stay with us right here on Draft Week 21 Live, presented by Bud Light.
Get your ice cold Bud Light, Bud Light. Seltzer, hip. Even though you can't go to the game doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now, hip. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. Budlight.com/delivery. Hey, Bud Light. How many?
Maybe I didn't love you quite as often as I could have.
We're delivering for the Earth by investing in more electric vehicles, reusable packaging, and carbon capture research, making Earth our priority.
I thought I'd seen it all.
When was the last time you experienced something different? Dig in to support Black-owned restaurants.
DC has a home for the greatest hits of all time.
That would be Michael Jackson for me.
DC's greatest hits.
Madonna.
Billy Idol. Live here.
Cyndi Lauper. Bon Jovi.
94.7. Blondie.
The Eagles.
The Drive.
We're back on Draft Week Live in 2021, presented by Bud Light. Julie Donaldson, Fred Smoot, and Bram Weinstein here with you. We're throwing it back to the 80s, having a lot of fun, celebrating those years when this franchise was Super Bowl after Super Bowl, the third coming early on in the night.
Nostalgia that comes with it.
Yeah, I mean, we're not just dressed up like this for fun. We're doing it for a good reason, because that is exactly where head coach Ron Rivera wants to take this team going forward, to the days of the Super Bowls. Any names that surprise you that fell out of the first round that could be up here now?
Well, Osu Kamara, everybody thought that was our golden goose. That's the pick that they were going to tie us to, him or Christian Delasau. And we saw Coach have the chance to get these guys, and he chose not to. So that tells me the whole time Davis was his first rounder. The question is, what was he thinking for second round and third round, considering that we got 3 picks?
All right, so Bram, let's go to you. Names that you think Washington could target in the second round, and then we know the third round. They seem to find gems left and right in the draft those years.
I mean, look, like, they have a lot of options here again, and there's a lot of ways that they could go. I cannot imagine that Notre Dame linebacker gets to them at 51. If he does, I don't mind back-to-back linebacker being the top of the draft for them. The safety from TCU seems like someone that would be of interest to them, certainly for depth and potentially as a future starter as well back there. Wide receiver is a target that I could see. Elijah Moore from Mississippi, if he somehow gets to 51. And then I think the elephant in the room is this. In the third round, probably, if Kyle Trask or Davis Mills are there, do you use one of these third-round picks on them to bring in a developmental quarterback? And I don't get the sense that's the direction they're going, but it'll be interesting if they do.
Okay, so we do. Round 2, pick 51. We have a pick in the third round, pick 74, that we got from the 49ers, and then also pick number 82. And we know in the third round, Washington has had some gems. Antonio Gibson just last year, Terry McLaurin not too far before that, Kendall Fuller, Morgan Moses, Jordan Reed, all third-round draft picks. So there you go. Plenty of options to be able to get some good guys on day 2. Don't just think they only come in round 1.
Yeah.
But Fred, give us your top 5 guys on the board right now that you think Washington should target.
I cannot wait. One, let's take a trip down to LSU. LSU has been good to us. Jabril Cox, this guy can do it all. Another linebacker. Bram told you, do not be shocked if we go back to the well. All right, number 2, Walker Little, Stanford. Very intelligent, very tough, very smart. That's what you want in an offensive lineman. They will change the thing. And you know I'm a big fan of bacon. If they smell like bacon, they got a chance to be on my team. Javon Holland, safety from Oregon. We got to address safety, free safety in particular, at one point in this draft, and he's a sideline-to-sideline guy. You're going to love this name. It's the champion names, all champion names. Hey, Divine Diablo, 6'4", 220 pounds, 4.340, Virginia Tech. I don't know why this guy didn't get off the draft in the first round. I think he could be special. He's just a tweener, just a guy that they're looking for in number 5. Wide receiver. Don't be shocked if we go back to wide receivers. Terry Marshall, tall, 6'2", 6'3". He can do it all. He can get in and out of cuts. He can go deep. He can catch a short pass and take it to the house. I think these are the guys that we're going to look for. Don't bank me on this, but I think all of them hold something special that Coach likes, and this diversity when it comes to positions. They can play 2, 3 different positions, and I know Coach loves that.
You know, it's interesting. We've spent a lot of time talking about filling holes and positions of need on defense, and then on offense, we kind of go with the offensive line. But you mentioned a wide receiver. Look, what they did in free agency has allowed them to kind of stick to a plan and take the best player available, so they don't have to go in too far and reach for any one player. They brought in Curtis Samuel. yes, he's going to be able to bring some speed. Look, he spent a lot of time in the slot, so he can kind of fit him wherever he really kind of wants.
Running back, anything.
Because he was a running back first floor, so you can also we know that they like to do that. But what they still have always wanted, and this is what head coach Ron Rivera told me right after last season, what they want is speed, depth, somebody to go take the top off the defense.
Yes.
So
That's why I brought up Terrence Marshall to you. That's why I brought it up. And he's different than everything that we got. The only tall receiver we have is Cam Sims, and he came a long way last year. But you have to bring some more height in there. Tall receivers allow quarterbacks to throw bad passes, and they still are completed. The catch radius of a tall guy is different than a short guy.
All right, Bram, any names you want to add to that list?
I mean, the only other thing I think we need to look at is tackle here, because clearly it's a void. You know, the question is, and I think even in Fred's list and what you see kind of on the marketplace here early in the draft, it doesn't look like that's a likely target for them. And therefore, I mean, I think this is what is apparent to everybody. There are a lot of things to fill here, and they're not going to be able to fill everything with this draft. So I expect them to either go defense again, potentially wide receiver. We'll see what happens in the third round. But finding that starter and offensive tackle, if it doesn't happen in the second round, is something that will be addressed on the free agent market after the draft is over.
Okay, it is almost time for the draft on day 2 to officially begin.
Yes,
look,
it is.
after the final pick, we will be back up, so make sure you do come back once that third pick is taken here, right here, where you see us right now. Thanks for joining us. This is Draft Week 21 Live, presented by Bud Light. For Fred Bram, I'm Julie. We will see you shortly with 3 new additions to the Burgundy and Gold.
DC has a home for the greatest hits of all time.
That would be Michael Jackson for me.
DC's greatest hits.
Madonna.
Billy Idol. Live here.
Cyndi Lauper.
Bon Jovi.
94.7.
Blondie.
The Eagles.
The Drive.
There's no better place to bet the NBA than on FanDuel Sportsbook. Bet every game, all season long, with live betting from tip-off right through the final whistle. Want even more action? Try a same-game parlay. And after that final, get your winnings in as little as 24 hours. Place your first bet risk-free and get up to $1,000 back if you don't win. FanDuel Sportsbook, more ways to win.
The modern world is a digital world, at home, at work, or on the go. We rely on data every day. Losing it can result in lost family photos, lost business, or even a lost job. Want to avoid these problems? You need cyber protection, where backup and cybersecurity meet. Only Acronis offers backup solutions that also stop ransomware before your files are damaged. It's easy, efficient, and secure cyber protection for all your data. Try Acronis free for 30 days. Go to acronis.com today for modern cyber protection.
DC has a home for the greatest hits of all time.
That would be Michael Jackson for me.
DC's greatest hits.
Madonna.
Billy Idol. Live here.
Cyndi Lauper.
Bon Jovi.
94.